if she's going to do the horror, I think I have all the right in the world to hoist her chair into a fucking volcano. Let's just roll the intro.
Guess who's back and better than ever? That's right, it is me, your nightmare in black. Your Christmas nightmare in black. Every once in a while I think to myself that if other conservatives saw me, that they would start exorcising me with holy water, and I would just be like, no, I'm one of you guys. I just don't dress like the rest of them. I wear black. Come on, don't judge a book by its cover, guys. Anyway, let's get into the video. I want to do some quick Christmas housekeeping. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm kind of so-so about Christmas. I don't write a Christmas list. I like doing the decorations. As you can see, here's my Santa. Oh, I forgot to put on my diffuser. I know that none of you care, but I keep it on all Christmas season around because it gets cold in Chicago. Anyway, how do you guys feel about getting clothes during Christmas time? I know that as kids, none of us ever wanted to get socks. That was the worst gift you could possibly get. I always wanted an easy bake oven. Here, in the comment section below, tell me what you like to get at Christmas time, especially when you were a kid. I'm a millennial. I know, I look young, but I always wanted an easy bake oven. Just tell me below what you always wanted for Christmas. But I want to show you a few of the gifts I got this year. A little bit of a Christmas haul. If you want to see the full Christmas haul, just send me a message in the comment section below, and I will be sure to show you. So this is one of the things I got. It's a cute little purse. This is my favorite color. I don't know if you can see. It's oxblood. And also, some of you are going to call me a demon. But my mom got this for me. I love calendars. I love writing things down. And she got me a Buffalo Bill calendar. My mother and I love this movie, and it is the perfect thing to get. I don't know where she got this, but it's hilarious. It has his face on each section. Anyway, that's just a little bit of some of the gifts I got. One of the best things about Christmas, for me anyway, were the funny gifts. The reason I never made lists as an adult, but especially as I got older, was because I wanted to see what people knew about me. Tell me what you guys do for Christmas, though. Do you make a list? Do you cook? Do you visit your family? Just sound off in the comment section. I have one more section before we get into the hard stuff, so I'm just dreading getting past this. That's why I'm being a little bit slow. Let's talk about world news. Technically, it's domestic news, but it involves the world. Donald Trump does not take breaks. I don't know if there's a ball or balls big enough to describe Donald Trump's balls, but I woke up Christmas morning realizing Santa could not have gotten me a better gift than this. When he struck ISIS on Christmas Day, the three kings could never bring Jesus, baby Jesus, a better gift. Come on. That was awesome. If you do not agree, if you are one of the lefties out there who does not agree because you're going to make ISIS your new Maryland man, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. It was the most ironic, most beautiful moment in history. I think that this alone should get him. They should add another face to Mount Rushmore and put his orange ass head on it. Come on, guys. It's beautiful. It was the best thing I'd ever heard. Now, also, Trump, again, man never works. He has two other things he's doing. He's going to meet with Zelensky on a Sunday to talk over the ceasefire. Now, I kind of like that Zelensky has kind of like boosted his energy and his optimism towards Trump, but I just don't see how this is going to work, because God knows, if you watch Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin basically said that this land was his, that it was his before, it was Russia's land before, so therefore it's always Russia's land. So if you think that way, how are you possibly going to get a true ceasefire that doesn't involve Putin saying, "Oh, well, I take all of this, and then one day, Trump, when you are out of office, I will take the rest because some weak Democrat will come in, and I will take it. Come in, come on." After that fact, as you can tell, my Russian accent is on point. But after that, he's, so by the time I post this video on Sunday, that meeting will be happening. And then, of course, on Monday, he has a meeting with Bibi on another impossible task, which is going over the Gaza ceasefire. Because, technically speaking, Gaza, the Palestinians believe that all of Israel belongs to them. So, getting those last hostages, the deceased hostages, and also moving towards the second portion of the ceasefire is just going to become more and more difficult. And I think, yet again, they are going to wait for an opportunity to strike Israel yet again. But we will see. We will see. I like his optimism. Now, let's move on to today's topic. I had to make post-it notes because this, my guys, news is slow, and I had to talk about it. I never really watched AmFest, but this one felt like especially important given Charlie's untimely demise. So I have all these post-it notes, and they are extensive. God bless Erica Kirk. But that was a minus Ben's speech, and obviously Queen Nikki. It was a total fucking shit show. Pardon my French. Let's just start with Ben's video. How about that?
Since the murder of Charlie Kirk, so if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So, when Candace Owens says, "I don't know, but I know," that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Okay. I might need a cigarette after that one. You did great, Ben. Honey, no notes. Now let's just see what Megyn Kelly had to say. Because I bet that would be a doozy.
In a position to decide who must say what to whom and when. Thank you. So, I don't think we are friends anymore. I've been a very good friend to Ben. Nobody knew who the heck Ben Shapiro was when I started putting him on my shows on the Fox News channel. And I helped make him a star. And I've been very, very good to Ben over the years, and he's been good to me too. He just recently came on my tour, as did you. And I gave him the most kind introduction I could possibly give him because I know that he's losing subscribers a lot. And so I tried to do something nice for him by giving him a long 10-minute intro and personally vouching for him. And we mixed it up on Israel out on stage. It wasn't Israel because we're on the same place on Israel. We mixed it up over whether Tucker Carlson should be excommunicated from the conservative movement, which I do not believe. And thank you. And when it was over, we hugged, said goodbye, and then we had a nice text exchange a couple days later saying our friendship was important to us. And the next thing I saw was him attacking me on stage last night as a coward. So that's not friendship, and I think that's fine with me.
You know, I went to an all-girls school, and I have never seen, and again, all-girls school, people were pulling weaves, okay? People were stabbing each other in the back, estrogen through the roof, and I have never seen the kind of high and mighty Regina George acting bitchiness that I have heard from Megyn Kelly, who, by the way, is 25 years my senior. I understand that she is hurt, but please, I don't think we are friends. We agree on everything, but I don't think we are. Oh, come off it. Come off it! You're just salty that someone called you out. You can just say that. You can just simply say it for what it was. You were annoyed that someone told you exactly how you were acting, that you were a bitch-ass fuck. I know, that it might be mean. I don't have a producer today. I can talk however I'd like. Otherwise, they'd be giving me a mean look and telling me to stop. Megyn, come off it. You don't like the fact that someone told you how you were acting. You are a high schooler. Here's the tea, Megyn Kelly. It is always easier to be that person, correct? The kind of person who never actually takes accountability, who never actually says anything, right? We all know those girls, right? They know something is wrong, and they say it, like, over text message, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you stood up to so-and-so. I can't believe, but they would never stand up to that person. They just rely on people like you to stand up to them. Because even though you get shit thrown out at you, at least they don't have to deal with it. Right? They hope that things will change, but deep down, they're never going to do anything about it. Not personally. They can't. They care about their reputation. Well, what reputation are you trying to preserve, Megyn? Who are you trying to appeal to? And also, Jack Posobiec, I don't know whose side you were on. I understand that you're not technically part of Turning Point, but you should at least... You went on Piers Morgan and talked about how torn up you were about Charlie Kirk's death, only to ask the most instigating question to Megyn Kelly. You could have avoided the whole subject. You know that Erica did. She didn't talk about it again, right? Because she doesn't want to invite the controversy and the criticism. You could have done the same thing. Everyone is accusing Ben of actually just going ahead and, making it all about the fight, is ignoring the reality. He's the only one who was standing alone and saying the right thing. And he was also agreeing with Erica. Erica actually, first thing she says in her first speech had to do with the Egyptians, the Egyptian planes. You think that she is not on Ben's side about this one? Then you're not listening. She's just very classy, and she doesn't want to invite more trauma into her life. So when someone like Jack Posobiec asks someone like Megyn Kelly that kind of question, you know what he's really doing? He's trying to stoke the flames. He's trying to make the situation worse. Why? Because he probably agrees. Because Jack Posobiec is a conspiracy theorist in many ways. So, good for Megyn Kelly for showing us where she stands, right? She stands for herself. She doesn't like the idea of being told that she stands for herself, but she does, because deep down, she just doesn't want to have to be the person who bears the brunt of it. Ben has been lambasted since that. And he deserves none of it. I get lambasted. And I deserve none of it. Chicks on the right get lambasted. They deserve none of it. All the people who spoke out against Candace, they don't deserve any of the lambasting. I mean, this is just one bitch. I don't think people realize this is just one person. She's just a finite person. Ignore her followers, ignore the rest of the noise. She's just one person. She is not God. She's not all-powerful. And so whenever she says this stuff, it is not exactly like she's the moral authority. She's not the arbiter of anything. So why is it so many people are afraid? Well, actually, you know what? Let's just go to Candace's response, because it really illuminates something that makes me really happy and proves me right about all of it. Remember, I have a history of longevity with Candace. I have a personal history with Candace. So let's roll that.
I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that
Santa could never give me a greater gift than this. By the way, Brad, I kept your name in there so that I could give you credit. I'm just not going to give Candace that coin. So, I have been waiting for Candace to say the quiet part out loud. I have been waiting for her to say that she is an anti-Semite, and she has finally said it. You know, I know insiders in this who have told me how anti-Semitic that she is. And now I have total confirmation that she's a total motherfucking anti-Semite. I'm going to have to, put some clips throughout this, because truth is, I don't think you could get as deep into this. I mean, this is a total mind virus.
what can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe.
So now she's not just critiquing Ben, she's talking about what your people believe,
Judaism.
as in Jews. That is really dangerous, guys. And then she holds up this book. Watch.
You believe that you are contract lords and that people.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She's about to get to the book part, but she's now saying your people believe that you can just control people by suing them.
But I have known this woman is an anti-Semite. I am so sick and tired of people like Tucker Carlson. And I mean, honestly, someone like Piers Morgan, who I like, who have run cover and claimed that she is not an anti-Semite. Megyn Kelly, you're included in this, by the way. Welcome to the chat. She once did a speech where she suggested that the man with the tiny mustache who killed 6 million, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, that he was probably not that bad. Because apparently he was burning trans books too. I want to do a little thought experiment like I did in my last video. If you heard that Jeffrey Dahmer, yes, the Jeffrey Dahmer that ate people, my arms look crazy when they're extended like this. I look like some kind of human centipede or something. If you heard that Jeffrey Dahmer had saved a school bus of children that was about to go off a cliff, would it change the fact that he ate people and mutilated their bodies? Every sane person would say, no! For God's sake, no! Right? I cannot be the only person in the world that understands how insane that is. I have thought she was absolutely crazy and anti-Semitic this entire time. She is a Jew hater. Maybe that's why she defended Kanye. I'm not sure. But she did happen to mention the plantation.
I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly.
Which is something that Kanye West did in fact say. Kanye West also brought up how Jews run the world. Yeah, that's why all the media is sympathetic towards Palestine and the Gazans. It doesn't cover any anti-Semitic acts of violence. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It only makes sense for dumbasses. If you want the proof that I have been doing this, I also have a whole bunch of tweets at her. So I'll show. You know, I can finally retire at this point. I've realized that so much of this has gone to try and prove that this woman is an anti-Semite. And most of you who are smart probably knew that. I hope so. And some of you who are either groypers or some combination of the worst are probably going to go out there and say horrible things about me. And that's okay. You get to live in the solitude of your internet bubble and realize that the rest of the world doesn't care what you do. That's nice. I accept that. You know, but in all seriousness, in all goddamn seriousness, pardon my French, we should unpack a few of the things she said. Because, believe it or not, it's not just the fact that she is anti-Semitic. Whether Candace wants to admit it or not, she and I have parlayed in the past, and I do know a thing or two about her. You know, the other day, I was reached out to by someone who said, you know, Candace is really bad news, which I'm sure you know from your time knowing her and talking to her people. And that is correct. I have talked to her people. A few times, actually. 5 times. And seeing as someone, either on her team or her herself, decided to either strike or flag my content from last week, I feel like the knives are out. See, I could be funny mean, but this is just Juliana striking back at you. So let's just talk about this. Let's be real, Candace. You talk about the Talmudic Jew. What a dumb fucking thing to bring up. The Talmudic Jew is not the Talmud. Are you an idiot? The Talmud was written by a known anti-Semite in like the 1920s. So I am sorry that you are too dumb to realize the difference, but maybe you should have spent that time finishing college. I know that Charlie always says that people shouldn't go to college, but what do you say about a person who maybe should have finished college before they start becoming the arbiter of Judaism? Just a thought. Just a thought. Just putting theories out there. Maybe you should have finished college, Candace. Maybe for just a second in time you should have. Because you would know that everything he was spouting was about a theory he had about Jews. He was a known anti-Semite who wrote a book based on a theory he had of what the Talmud represented. Okay, and now you have a whole bunch of your lackeys, your slinking lackeys that probably are covered in slime, going on the internet and spouting the same thing that you're talking about. Maybe you should read more books. Clearly you don't. Next, let's talk about Andrew Klavan. See, she hates Andrew Klavan because Andrew Klavan, after she was fired, which she does talk about in this, Andrew Klavan did mention that he had heard Candace trying to convert, which I had actually heard from other people. She tried to convert Ben. This was when she was still a Christian. Did you know that she has gone from Baptist to atheist to Christian to now Catholicism? By the way, Catholics, we don't want her. Okay? She has switched religions more than a Democrat switches genders. Okay? This bitch be switching up all the time. I actually need that one. It has my writing on it. But he had heard her try to convert Ben because otherwise he was going to go to hell. Allegedly. Allegedly. I have to say that because she's so litigious. By the way, speaking of that, since I have to talk about it, she's talking about her firing.
People are not allowed to violate contracts, so you will ruin them for years. You fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it.
She was to talk about her firing? Ben made it clear that there was an Overton window. The same way that if I worked at Fox News, I can't go and say that I want, Kamala Harris to win. But also she talks about the contract, which is interesting, because when I talk to her people, do I dare do it? Do I do it? See, because guess what? I don't traffic in lives, and I know, but I don't know, but I know. I'm not that person. Here's the tea. Candace Owens and her team spoke with me, and they wanted a former employee who I was speaking to on a story to join them and speak to her lawyer. I wonder what that was about. I know a little bit more. I'm not going to say anything else about that. But it's the irony of it all, right? Candace is just a bitter person. She doesn't know anything. She hates other people. And all the people that join her are just going to be dragged down by it. If you choose to be dragged down by it, that's your choice. Megyn Kelly, you've had a storied career, and it's sad to see that happen. But I guess it was worth it. I guess it was worth it. I say in all sarcasm. I guess I have to end this, and I have to end it on some kind of note. Moral of the story is, kids, maybe if you talk to someone and they talk about all the exes that they had, it's not because they just were unfortunate. Maybe if you meet someone, a nice woman, she tells you about all of her dead husbands, you should start checking your food. She might poison you too. Because before she ever was in conservative politics, she had 5 different jobs. Maybe the problem is Candace. And maybe she will drag those who are defending her with them. But I'll still wish her a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope she doesn't claim this one too. All right, and on that note, guys, my name is Jules, and this is Right Off the Cuff. And remember, being a little bit right off the cuff every single day keeps the wokies away. I'm a little bit saltier. You'd think I wouldn't be, given the fact that we are about to ring in a new year. After all of the torture this year has brought us. Okay. I guess I'll leave it there. Love you all.
You signed contracts and you signed agreements and NDAs and then violated them. And then if he sues you for them, you are an individual with agency who made multi-million-dollar deals that you had every ability to review and consent to or not consent to. That is not some evil, sinister Jewish plot. That's just how media works. Every company does that. Every company has these agreements and it sues you if you violate them. And don't say it's because all you Jews are contract lords and start talking about you people. Take some accountability for the fact that you agreed to something maybe you shouldn't have, maybe you regret. But this is just standard media practice. And when you start making it into a conspiracy about Jews, you are being anti-Semitic. Sorry, not sorry.